guys can share all together. Because if you eat your cotton candy right now, then y'all gonna be arguing over that cotton candy. No.
Now, baby, Karlissa thought she was doing a simple language cleanup, but the internet looked at that live like it was a full emergency press conference from the Grandma Supreme Court. 1 minute she was telling Pinkface no more bad words, and the next minute she was basically translating the replacement phrase like she was decoding a family curse word dictionary on national television. Because how do you tell a child not to cuss? Then explain exactly what the clean version secretly means while everybody in the comments is sitting there blinking like, wait, did we just fix the problem or upgrade it to premium mess? Karlissa said no foul language, but somehow the moment turned into parenting debates, blue-face shade, gentle parenting arguments, and grandma discipline energy all in one chaotic livestream stew. And that is where the drama got sticky, because fans were not just reacting to what Pinkface said, they were watching how Karlissa handled it, how much she revealed, and whether this was a funny family correction or another public moment that should have stayed off camera. But once Karlissa brought the shoe talk, the daddy house comments, and the internet courtroom open, one question started getting louder. Did she check the language? Or did she accidentally make the whole mess bigger now the whole thing started? Like one of those family livestream moments that looks harmless for about 3 seconds until the internet realizes there is a full suitcase of drama hiding behind one tiny sentence. Karlissa was sitting there trying to correct Pinkface over using grown-up language, and at first, it seemed like Grandma was just stepping in to clean things up. But this is Karlissa we are talking about. So of course a simple don't say, bad words conversation somehow turned into a parenting debate, a blue-face side-eye moment, and a live comment courtroom where everybody suddenly had a psychology degree. Karlissa did not just say, no more cussing and move on like a normal person ending a family moment before the Wi-Fi could make it worse. No, she started coaching Pinkface through replacement words like this was a vocabulary class inside a Zeus reunion trailer. She told her not to say the real bad words anymore and pushed her poor softer phrases like bad, dad, dan, what, the hecky, and baby. That is where the internet started leaning forward, because the cleanup was already sounding messier than the spill. The real twist came when Karlissa explained what bad dad was supposed to mean, because that is when the whole situation went from family correction to viral contradiction. She was trying to stop the bad language, but then she basically decoded the meaning behind the child-friendly version for the entire audience. It gave the same energy as hiding the matches from a toddler while announcing exactly where the lighter fluid is stored, so viewers were left asking whether Karlissa was really fixing the language problem or accidentally giving the moment a new headline. And that is what made the clip travel so fast in drama world terms, because the scandal was not just about Pinkface repeating foul words. The bigger issue became how the adults around her were handling it, what they were saying on camera, and why the conversation kept circling back to where those words might have been picked up. Karlissa mentioned that the child had been saying certain things connected to Daddy House, and immediately the vibe shifted. Suddenly, this was not just about one bad word anymore. It was about environment, parenting, influence, and public family chaos. Once Karlissa brought up Daddy House energy, the internet did what the internet always does. It put on a black robe, grabbed a cracked phone screen, and opened court without permission. People were not just listening to the child anymore. They were watching Karlissa, reading between every messy little line, and asking why so much family business was happening live. Because whenever Blueface's family world gets even slightly mentioned, the comments do not walk in. Politely, they kick the door open like WWE security just failed another backstage assignment. Karlissa kept the tone playful in some places, but the conversation had enough sharp edges to make people uncomfortable and entertained at the same time. She was laughing, correcting, bargaining, redirecting, and trying to keep Pinkface from repeating words she clearly did not want her saying anymore. But then the jokes kept coming. The explanations kept stretching. and every little phrase started sounding like a new clip waiting to be posted. It was giving grandma discipline, family comedy, and reality TV damage control all fighting over the same microphone. Then came the shoe talk and baby. That is where the parenting conversation really started doing cartwheels in the group chat. Karlissa talked about whooping, mentioned the shoe, and contrasted it with people trying to do gentle parenting. Now whether she was joking, exaggerating, or just talking in that old school grandma way, the internet was not going to let that slide quietly, because the second somebody says gentle parenting and I whoop in the same breath, TikTok University immediately opens a full debate with citations nobody asked for. That part made the live feel even bigger because it introduced a whole second layer to the drama. On one side, some viewers could see Karlissa as a grandma trying to correct a child before the language got worse. On the other side, others could argue that the whole correction became too public, too messy, and too grown for a child to be caught. In the middle of, and when a family moment starts making people choose sides like it is team discipline versus team please in the live, you already know the clip has left the living room. What made the whole thing more chaotic was how normal everything around the drama looked. One minute they were talking about bad words, the next it was cotton candy, chocolate, salad, nap time, and little kid randomness flying everywhere like a cartoon kitchen scene. That contrast made it even more viral because the serious parts were sitting right next to comedy. It was like watching a family sitcom suddenly get interrupted by a court hearing, then immediately cut to somebody asking for dessert like nothing happened, and Karlissa, being Karlissa, did not exactly shrink from the camera or soften the moment. Once she realized people were watching closely, she kept talking, kept correcting, kept joking, and kept giving the audience more little pieces to react to. That is why this situation works as drama, because it is not built on one giant explosion. It is built on a bunch of tiny messy details stacking up until the whole thing starts looking like a reality show episode nobody officially filmed, but everybody somehow ended up watching. By the time the live kept moving, the original issue had already grown legs. It was no longer just Pinkface said a bad word. It became, why is Karlissa explaining the replacement word? Who is influencing the language? Why was Daddy House mentioned? And did the correction become more public than it needed to be? And once those questions entered the chat, the whole situation stopped being a cute grandma moment and turned into another chapter in the never-ending Blueface family universe, where even a simple word correction can become a trending mess. The wildest part is that Karlissa may have genuinely thought she was handling it right in real time. She seemed like she wanted Pinkface to stop cussing, choose safer words, and understand that certain language was not okay, but the internet does not judge only the intention, it judges the delivery, the timing, the audience, the background noise, and the accidental punchlines. So even if Karlissa was trying to clean up the situation, the way it played out gave viewers more than enough material to question whether the cleanup turned into the new spill. And that is where part 1 leaves us with the real tension, because Karlissa did check Pinkface over the foul language, but the check itself became the story, the replacement words, the daddy house mention, the whooping jokes, the gentle parenting contrast, and the live audience energy all came together like a reality TV storm cloud. So now the question is not just whether Pinkface should stop saying certain words. The real question is whether Karlissa's response helped calm the drama down, or accidentally handed the internet another match and a gallon of gasoline. Now once the clip started moving around, the internet did not treat it like a tiny family correction anymore. Oh no, they treated it like Karlissa had just opened the doors to the Blueface family cinematic universe and dropped a bonus episode nobody asked for, but everybody watched anyway. The foul language check became the spark, but the real fire was how quickly people started debating whether Grandma was teaching, exposing, joking, or accidentally feeding the mess with a golden spoon. Because the contradiction was sitting right there in front of everybody, wearing a glittery jacket and waving like it wanted attention. Karlissa was telling Pinkface not to say bad words, But then she kept explaining the meaning behind the replacement words like she was running a secret translator app for family insults. It was one of those moments where viewers could understand the intention, but the delivery had the internet squinting like, "Baby, are we solving the problem or giving it subtitles?" And then the comments started splitting into different little drama departments, because some people thought Karlissa was simply being a grandma and trying to redirect a child in real time. Others were side-eyeing the entire thing, asking why the child's language, the daddy house references, and the discipline talk needed to be handled in front of a live audience. That is when the internet courtroom got loud. So many family corrections, emotional moments, and private conversations end up feeding public content, because once the internet gets involved, it does not just watch the moment. It edits it, captions it, judges it, remixes it, and turns it into a whole courtroom with popcorn. And the wild part is that Karlissa may not have meant to make anything bigger at all. She may have genuinely been trying to teach Pinkface better words, stop the foul language, and make the moment funny instead of tense. But intention does not always survive the internet, because once a clip leaves the lip, it becomes whatever the audience decides it is. So even if Karlissa thought she was calming things down, the replay made some viewers feel like she had accidentally built a bigger stage for the mess. The unexpected revelation in all of this is that the real scandal might not be the foul language itself. The real scandal might be how quickly one child's sentence exposed the bigger pressure around this family, the constant cameras, the adult commentary, and the way everyone connected to Blueface becomes part of a public storyline. A simple correction turned into a mirror, and what people saw in that mirror was not clean at all. They saw a family constantly trying to manage chaos while the internet stands outside yelling, "Say that again." But closer to the mic, by the end, Karlissa had checked Pinkface. But the internet had already checked Karlissa right back. The live left people with too many questions, too many reactions, and too many clips that could be twisted into 10 different meanings. Was this a grandma doing her best in a messy family moment? Or was it another example of private family issues being turned into content before the dust could even hit the floor? And with Blueface's family drama already moving like a never-ending reality show, this moment did not feel like an ending at all, because the scariest part is not that Pinkface said something she should not have said. The scariest part is that one tiny word correction opened a whole new door into parenting debates, family shape, public discipline, and online judgment. Karlissa tried to shut down the foul language, but the internet heard something much louder underneath it, and now everybody is waiting to see whether the next lip finally calms the nose, or whether this family is about to hand Secret Scoop another episode before the comments even cool off. Now y'all already know this family does not need a production crew, a scriptwriter, or Zeus reunion stage, because one live and one bad dad explanation had the internet acting like they just uncovered season 15 of the Blueface family files. So go ahead and smash that like button like it owes you money, because Karlissa tried to clean up the language and somehow left everybody with more questions than answers, more side-eyes than solutions, and a comment section looking like a courtroom with snacks. And drop your thoughts below, because we need to know if Karlissa was really correcting Pinkface, or if she accidentally turned one little foul language moment into a full family debate with daddy house shade, gentle parenting chaos, and grandma discipline energy flying everywhere. Also, subscribe to Secret Scoop before the next live drops and the internet starts acting brand new again, because baby, around here, we do not just watch the drama. We decode the mess before it gets a second episode. This is Secret Scoop, where the tea stays loud, the receipts stay messy, and the family chaos never clocks out.